Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. You know, I wanted to spend some time talking about marriage. I want to talk about marriage because it's such an important part of our lifestyle. You know, as Sikhs, we live in Grist Ashram. Grist Ashram is the spiritual marriage. And what does it mean to have a spiritual marriage? We'll go into that in more depth. But let me just start with marriage itself. There's so much baggage around marriage. And, you know, as the times have changed over the last 500 years, the institution of marriage has evolved as well. And the roles that men and women played in India at the time that the Lavan was written were very different than they are now. But the Lavan is really the foundation of a spiritual marriage, and as I said, we'll go into that a little more deeply later. But for now, I guess the question is, why get married? You know, there are a lot of societal pressures about being married and getting married, and I would say that most of the counseling that I do over the phone is, and even in person, is related to marriage. It's either related to communication issues in the marriage, or abuse in the marriage, or neglect. So, since there are so many marital problems and people are experiencing frustration in their marriages, I thought it'd be good to take some time and go a little deeper into the facts, the mechanics, and some tips and ideas for being married. Now, aside from the societal pressures, and I know if you're have reached the age of late 20s, early 30s, and you're not married, everybody starts pestering you. They probably start pestering you younger than that, but by the time people start getting panicky about, will I ever get married, or I need to meet someone, and all of that, then eventually, you know, that constant nudging from the family becomes too much to bear. You know, we say there are two kinds of marriages. There's love marriages and there's arranged marriages. But actually, all marriages are arranged marriages. They're arranged by Vaheguru. If we believe and understand and live in the fact that everything that happens to us that's unfolding is happening in hukum, in God's will, then we have to accept that being married or not being married also, and who one becomes married to, also unfolds in hukum. So we're at a kind of a crossover point between where the family is the matrix and the anchor, the parents and the extended family, and the future, in which you become the parents, you become the household, and the relationship to the parents changes. And that's beautifully symbolized in the marriage ceremony by the pala, by the handing of the shawl, that we give this woman from our safekeeping into your safekeeping. But even that is a little old-fashioned. It's not that the woman is in the safekeeping of the man. It's that both the man and the woman are together in the safekeeping of the Guru. Because if we really understand what Gurbani means when it says that the only refuge is at the Guru's feet, in the Guru's court, in the company of the Sad Sangat, then we really understand that it's not that the husband protects the wife or vice versa. It's that the husband and the wife evolve together into a singular consciousness. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that there are two bodies and one soul. That the consciousness, the essence of the two people who are being married becomes fused together. And in that fusion, something new is born. And in the next video after this, I'm going to go into the mechanics of how that happens.